everybody, to the Rebel Rules with Oliver Manufacturing. I'm Shawn Brook, president of Seed World, and I am super excited today to be sitting down with Wilken and Troy Jackson, who are the regional sales managers for Oliver Manufacturing. If I understand correctly, we've got this glorious country split in half. We got Troy looking after east of Colorado and Lauren looking after west of Colorado. Do I have that right, Lauren?
Yes, you do. Absolutely.
Well, I would like to say welcome to both of you. Welcome to both of you. And I want to start off by tell me one thing that happened to you this past week that seemed like an interesting, wow, I like the way that went moment.
Oh, I was actually on vacation.
That sounds like better stories.
Yeah, wasn't doing anything real fun, just working on my office area here and trying to finish some tiling and home improvement stuff. So might explain why I'm so tired this week and I'm ready for a vacation. So,
and I was like all your calls while you were gone. So that was interesting.
Well, someone had to do it.
I like it. So I've had a chance to spend a little bit of time with the two of you, and I think one of the things I would describe you both as customer-centric individuals. So I'm going to start with you, Lauren, and ask you, what do you think kind of makes up that customer-centric? What about either your past or your present or your thinking has set you up to really be able to focus on creating solutions for your customers?
Our goal has always been to provide a solution for the customer and be partners in business. We're not out to just make a sale and run away. We are here to help the customer be successful in their business. And I think that is something that drives both Troy and I, and also Oliver Manufacturing as a company. This is our 90th year, which we're pretty proud of. And you don't get to have 90 years without helping customers along the way. This industry is large, but it's also very small. And I believe our reputation has proven itself. And Troy and I take everything very seriously, personally, in fact. We want our customers to succeed. And so whatever that may be that we can do to help them, that's what we focus on.
Nice. So Troy, if I'm not mistaken, you haven't been with Oliver for 90 years, but you got a pretty good run going on. So what have you kind of taken into that stint with Oliver Manufacturing, that long-term stay with Oliver that has helped you be successful for a long stay?
I don't know the exact numbers, but it's at least 20 plus years total with Oliver. I think some of the biggest things that helped me was starting kind of from the ground, working in the shop and working my way through the ranks, and then using that knowledge and experience when helping provide a solution to the customers. Or during trainings, I cannot quite honestly can speak intelligently about what the machines can and can't do. And so that's, I think, one of my biggest keys to my success so far.
There's so many times, and we have a great service tech, but there's a lot of times out in the field that we run into things that we're not even there to solve. And, on a gravity or Eastone or United Bedroom or whatever it may be, Sizer. And Troy, because he's built them, he has ideas very quickly on how to solve the problem. And I've enjoyed for many years traveling with him and solving those issues. So he does have that particular insight from having built the machines. It's funny too when we're going to facilities and he's like, oh yeah, my dad built this machine, or I did this part of this machine. It's awesome. And the customers can relate to that, because we have a lot of older machines out there that are still running great. So the testament to the quality, I think, that we have.
Right. So maybe he has been around for 90 years.
He looks pretty good, but it could be the lack of hair there that's explaining a few things.
Exactly. I was given some interesting language a couple months back about the fact that conversations that we're having out in the marketplace these days are with people that have either been crushed by what's going on with COVID or people that have been inconvenienced by what's been going on with COVID. And I think overarchingly, our industry has been, for the most part, inconvenienced, not necessarily crushed. Well, can you tell me, how are the conversations going as you are getting back out into the field, as you're having more conversations, in-person conversations with people? How is that process going? What kind of pieces are important to people, and has any of that kind of changed?
Well, I think safety is the most important thing for people right now. And I believe that has spurred along automation is kind of what we're talking about more with our customers. How can we, because the workforce has changed and we have a lot of new people, there's people that have chosen to retire, different things going on like that the corporations are focusing on how can we automate and make this process easier for our new employees and current employees so we can be successful and continue on, knowing that we have to keep the 6 feet apart. We have to keep our employees safe. And so I think that we have been instrumental in helping provide some of those solutions to our customers for automation.
Right. Troy, does that match up with what you're doing out in the field?
Yeah, it is. I think even though we've seen this trend happening for many years with we need to do more with less, it's even become more so. How can I have 3 guys run this line for me? Or, how can we focus on making everything run as smooth as possible so my guys can be doing other things? Yeah, like I said, COVID, a lot of conversations that I've been having. Like I said, I think it's been an inconvenience. I haven't really seen it as crushing, but there's a lot of trepidation as customers don't know because their customers aren't spending money. I think there was always a lot of worry about the market, and there's just all these things kind of swirling around. Like I said, we've had a great year so far, but I think we've taken a pretty good hit as well. But things are still moving. Customers are still have this positive attitude right now, hoping that here soon things will kind of go back to a norm. So
a new normal, I would say even. But I think you're right. Our customers are absolutely positive about the future. And in fact, they're looking at ways to diversify their business.
One word that is a bit of a hallmark around Oliver is innovation. And I'm curious to hear from each of you on maybe what does that actually mean to you, and how does it fit into your approach to solving problems for your clients? Lauren, you want to that one?
Sure. So I think innovation is a great word to describe Oliver Manufacturing. I think our focus has always been to be a solution provider. In fact, we do take that very seriously in the fact that we have regular meetings regarding innovation. And every person in the company has the opportunity to bring information that we find from the field or in other parts of our business on how we can help our customers by changing something on our machines, by adding something. What are the needs of our customers in the future? What do they want? What do they like? What do they not like? And I think that is part of what helps us be successful, because we are focused on what the customer needs, not what we could sell them. And so that's part of our innovation is bringing the customer into our process and helping understand what it is they need and what their issues are. So,
got it. All right. Nice. Troy, what are your thoughts?
I completely agree with Lauren on that.
I thought you were going to give me a ditto.
Nah, I don't use that word too much. So every once in a great while. But yeah, we've been having these meetings now for feedback, which we haven't really ever done, and actually kind of assigning an importance to them. One of the other things, people have always known Oliver, especially when it comes to like ASTA, in Chicago that we were bringing out some, whatever the latest and greatest machinery upgrade or new machine, things like that. We were kind of known for that, and would even get asked, when we didn't have something, like, what's new? And, these last few years, I think as far as innovation goes, it's been adding on partnered equipment, bringing out a broader line, even more solutions than just like gravity jiggy stoners or sizers that we've always been known and focused on, and they're bringing in the best of the best as offerings. And along with that, I think something that has been, I guess, some innovation is bringing on someone like Lauren, who has a much more diversified background as far as offering these full line type solutions. And it's been a tremendous asset. I had just taken a call from a customer a couple of days ago, actually right before on vacation, that I wrote her name on this book here, that I said I need to get her involved because there's some things that even I don't have the exact experience in where she does, and I'm bringing her in to help get this project pulled together. So I think it's still innovation for Oliver in just a different form.
It's interesting. Somebody told me the other day that he's been in the business for 40 years, and some things he learned in 40 years, and some things it took him 40 years to learn. And I thought that was an interesting approach to the way to think about it. So even Troy, with 90 years of experience, can be calling in the reinforcements along the way. I like it. Would it be safe to say that you two work pretty well together, or am I way off base there, Troy?
I rely a lot on Troy, and I think he relies on me. And we've always worked really well together, and I think we both have things to offer each other in terms of support. In fact, we have a great team all together. I mean, you've heard that many times. How can our team help your team? And I think that is our sales approach is how can Oliver help, the customer? And that's why we're here. So, I mean, it happens all the time. We go into a facility because they say, oh, we need some help with this gravity table. There's something going on here. And we find out it's not actually the table. Troy and I are detectives sometimes, and we find the solution, even if it has nothing to do with us. We're not selling anything, but we're helping the customer resolve the issues that they're having. So that's what we love. I think that's our passion. And I think that's part of what makes us successful is we really love what we do, and we love the industry we're in.
I think it's interesting that one of the commonalities that I see with a lot of folks at Oliver is originally I thought it was just a customer service kind of mentality, but I think it's also a little bit of a competitive mentality. That, and by competitive, I mean, like, there is no problem that is going to stop me from solving it, kind of come hell or high water. And I'm curious, Troy, what would you say is that big solve, that one that you kind of like to hang your hat on, that, holy moly, I bashed my head against the wall and I struggled to figure it out, but in the end, I ended up getting the solution that was the best solution for the customer? Is there one that kind of stands out, that is that almost trophy you keep in your in your head?
I don't know if I have a single one that I can just hang my hat on that just comes to mind.
Yep.
After our little chat here, something will probably pop into my head, as it usually does, or at 2:00 in the morning and wake me up. But what I will say is, your words are exactly correct. Man, I am competitive, but also, when I'm working with a sample or something, I work in the lab just as well as I do out working with customers. And I will rack my brain trying to figure out what machine and what is the best solution. And I will try so many various different tests, almost trying to will it to work as it should and to my satisfaction. So one of the things, even at a customer facility, lab tests. I'm a pretty straightforward, no BS kind of guy. And when I'm working with things, if I don't feel that I would spend money on the solution, I'm not going to make my customer spend the money on the solution, but I will sure as the heck try to make it work and be very effective, not kind of like, yeah, it sort of does the job, kind of thing. I want it to do exactly what it should do, and also give my input to engineering and things like that.
You don't strike me as a Band-Aid kind of guy, Troy.
No, I'm not. So again, I'm trying to do. I look at things through my eyes again. If I was the customer, would I be satisfied with the results?
Right.
And that's just kind of how I've always looked at things. So yeah, I'm a fine tuner kind of person. I do a lot of racing. I'm always fine tuning my cars, and I do the same thing with the machinery. So sometimes when I'm giving a training or I'm looking at a customer's machine, I can stand there for a little bit, and I'm always constantly trying to make it perform better for them, and then try to teach them how to replicate those results. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. I probably didn't answer your question, but that's how like I said, everything gets that same attention.
Well, and I would just add that's how we end up with lifelong friends in this industry. I mean, we work in the best industry in the world, I think. We get to, part of that industry gets to feed the world. And I mean, is there a higher honor than that? I don't think there is.
How would you encourage, if there's somebody out there listening to this thinking, gosh, I got this issue in my plant, or I've got this issue in my processing line, but I don't know if they've got a fix, or I don't know how they tackle this. How would you encourage someone to hear about a solution? And to be clear, not how would they buy a gravity table, or how would they buy, right? That's not everyone understands that, but how would they be able to tap into some of that knowledge that this tag team duo brings to the industry? How would you suggest they tackle that?
I would say just call us. I mean, there's if Troy and I are not available, we have several other team members that are available, and we all work together to accomplish, the common goal of helping that customer be successful. So even if it has absolutely nothing to do with their gravity table, if they need some help, with their process, or have questions on certain varieties of seed, for example, that, they're having issues with, we can absolutely try to help them. And if we can't, maybe we know somebody that could help them, and we can, give them some information on who to contact. So we're absolutely open for any questions, even if they don't have anything to do with the gravity table or anything that we manufacture.
So this feels a little bit like McDonald's, because at McDonald's, miles are free. Here, advice and knowledge is free. I think that's a pretty good takeaway for folks here, is they can tap into that knowledge in 90 years of experience of Troy, and the knowledge that Lauren brings to the market. So I think that's spectacular. I guess the point and I think you did a great job of saying this, is that they don't have to phone you because they need to buy a gravity table. They can phone you to talk about solutions that might help them solve the problem that exists. They don't have to come to you with what they want as the solution. They can come to you with a problem and let you guys help to figure out that solution. Troy, does that kind of fit in with the way that you do things as well? I'm guessing that it does.
Absolutely. And again, I think at this day and age, and again with the innovation, as this different innovation or approach that we have taken, we're always going to be known for the gravity table. Plain and simple. I guess foreign countries just refer to the gravity table as an Oliver. I had just gotten an email about this too from a guy that was down like in Colombia. He's like, I don't know that they have an Oliver, but that's what they're referring it to. And I mean, that's quite a statement.
Right.
But with today, and us kind of again broadening the spectrum of Oliver, again, that innovation is don't just think of us as the gravity table company, but again, this tap into the knowledge, the years of being out in the field, all these other different types of innovation that we're bringing and thinking. Yeah, I don't know about you, Lauren. Well, actually, I kind of do. But, you talked about how these people become our friends, and how many texts do you get absolutely not related initially to needing some assistance, but it's, I get people text me all the time, how is racing going? How's the family? How's whatever? And then we probably get into some sort of, hey, I've got this little issue I'm trying to figure out. And again, it doesn't even have to necessarily do with the product we produce, but maybe the offerings that we have, a better solution than what they currently have. I think I'd like to see people see us as a broader scope than how it used to be.
That's a perfect segue into my last question for each of you, which is, I'm going to ask Lauren first. What's one thing that you would like everyone to know about Oliver that perhaps they don't?
We are a solution provider. So I think that's where I would leave it as. Again, don't think of us as just a gravity or a diesel owner manufacturer. We help with everything from A to Z. We can help you with that, or at least guide you in the right direction. So
let our team help your team.
Absolutely.
Nice. Troy, what do you think?
Again, as we mentioned, this is a 90-year-old company. And I always kind of have used this phrase a little bit. 90 years, you get a little bit of foundation cracking and wear and tear. And at some point you have to address that. And after 90 years, I think we have again laid out this incredibly great foundation and have been starting to build upon that again in a much broader and up-to-date type of scope. And I tell you, I've been really excited with some of the things that we've done internally that have needed attention, and it's happened. And like I said, it makes it that much easier to go out and do your job. But yeah, I just want people to realize, give us a call. Our numbers, I think, are all somewhere on the web. Like I said, I always tell people, text me, just tell me who you are. I'll answer anything as quickly as I can. We all are, like I said, we all feed off of each other, and it's just a great team and a great company, and we're still trying to put out the absolute best products, whether again we produce it or we sell it as a partnered piece. That all complements, including the employees, we all complement each other and good compliment to the customers. So
everyone on our team, it's not just a job to them. And so that's what makes us better, is everyone believes in what we do and will go the extra mile no matter what it is. So
my father was there right out of high school. I've known this company since I was in diapers. It's what I grew up around, and my dad would take me to the factory while machines were running over the weekend during their test process. And it's just what I've known. Much like Brian with his father and family being in the business, I have a lot of family in the business, and we all really do care. And again, we're very passionate, and sometimes it feels personal. And so we want our reputation to be the best one out there, and we're going to strive for that.
That's great, you guys. I was just thinking of some words that kind of come to mind from our chat here, and you tell me if I'm hitting the mark. I got quality, I got innovation, I got solution provision, I've got we'll go the extra mile, I've got scope of offering. That this is no longer a gravity table company. It is a gravity table company, but an entire full solution company, and most importantly, that the people there are looking to be able to provide solutions, not just sell equipment. Help solutions, help people to be successful in their businesses. Did I hear you guys right?
Absolutely.
I totally agree. I'll even give one more little tidbit here. My brother, who's head of assembly and testing, I believe, had hired my son recently. And I told my son, he had come over to the house one day. I said, now you better make sure that whatever you do, it is correct. and as best as it can be, because I'm the one out there telling the customers and believing that this is the best stuff, and you better be providing that. And he just shook his head like, yes, Dad, because I mean it. I seriously mean it.
Absolutely. I think it comes across loud and clear that the passion you both have for the business, for the industry, for your customers comes across loud and clear. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Troy.
Thanks, Shawn.
Thank you, Shawn. It's been a pleasure.